It's showtime.
Hey, welcome to Did You Watch Survivor Listener? My name is Jake Trydell. This is a podcast about reality.
You got it, bud. You did it.
Friendship, in which I asked my best friend, Thomas Powell, if he did indeed watch a certain reality show. Wow, Thomas, what did you think of that intro? First time's a charm, huh? I did super good on that.
Big fan of your intro. First time, long time.
How you doing today, Thomas?
Doing all right, Jake. The NBA playoffs are in full swing.
Oh, who's in it today? Still.
Boston Celtics, Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like Rick Devens.
Rick Devens, who's always saying that. Who else is playing today? Let me look.
I don't know. Jonas Jerebko.
Houston.
What's the guy from Milwaukee's name? Who's really good?
It's funny that you say Jonas Jerebko, because Giannis Antetokounmpo is who you are thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
But Jonas Jerebko is playing for the Golden State Warriors, who are playing the Houston Rockets today.
And his name is pronounced Jonas Jerebko, not Jonas, right?
I think it is actually pronounced Jonas, but I don't think it matters that much either way.
But in America?
The Americanized pronunciation of it is Jonas Jerebko, but
Jonas Jerebko
I think the
changed
broadcast,
his name at Ellis Island.
I think the broadcast guys say Jonas Jerebko.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. Thanks for listening to our basketball podcast.
I'm an authority on this matter. I have a Jerebko Pistons jersey, so
You've got a lot of really good jerseys.
I do. I have a lot of them.
I feel like sometimes you buy jerseys just so you can show up when you go to Summer League.
That is 90% of the reason that I buy jerseys.
Good. Hey, Thomas, did you watch Survivor Edge of Extinction last night?
Sure did, Jake.
You sound upset when you say that.
I don't know why I don't know why I did that when I was opening it and not taking a sip of anything.
Oh, because we can't see each other, I thought you were just exasperated with this episode as a whole.
No, the episode was fun.
Yeah. Were you opening enough time?
Actually, no.
Oh!
Opening a
Let's do this bottle check real quick.
delicious cherry bubbly.
Cherry bubbly?
Bubbly is like the Pepsi version of LaCroix.
Oh, right. You're not drinking cherry champagne.
No.
Okay.
That sounds pretty good, though. Like a cherry mimosa.
I don't know. What do you think about mimosas?
I like mimosas, and if it was a mimosa and also a Shirley Temple, I bet it would be pretty good.
Do they put cherries in mimosas? I feel like
No.
I've seen that before.
Maybe.
Well,
maybe,
you could.
I mean, somewhere maybe, but I've never seen it.
You've never had one of my mimosas.
Apparently not.
I don't make mimosas that often. Don't get your hopes up.
Okay. I'll just have to take your word for it on how good they are.
Okay, this episode was called Fasten Your Seatbelts. I think decent episode title.
So you're not drinking anything,
Oh,
Jake?
shit. I mentioned uptime earlier, so I didn't think that I had to bring it up again. But yeah, I got myself an uptime. I bought it 2 days ago in preparation.
Wonderful.
I also, though, I bought from 7-Eleven this new energy drink. Oh, I threw the can away already, I think. It's a white can, and it's one was mango and orange, I think, and then the other one was acai and raspberry. They were both decent. More bubbles than energy, but, sometimes you need the bubbles.
Yeah, I may have already asked you this, but are you into that Bang energy?
Yeah, we've talked about Bang Energy before. I don't like it. I think we said before, it came out with too many flavors at once.
I agree.
And that's a bad sign for a new energy drink. Uptime, though...
It's here to stay, though. People love that shit.
I mean, if it's effective... I've had it one time, and it was fine. I think I had it, in a car ride coming home from a wedding in Cincinnati, my sister's. And it just made me not fall asleep in the car, so I guess job well done, Bang. Okay, so let's get into this episode. Lauren is mad and says that she's out for blood after the Kelly vote, but at the same time she also wants to take Rick out. Gavin is mad he wasn't involved in the Kelly vote, so he and War Dog argue. This is stupid. Gavin then targets War Dog. Ron says that
Who deserves it?
Yeah.
He talks to Gavin like he's Someone
a
says he
dog.
talks to him later like a 10. Yeah, the dog thing I didn't like as much, but he talked to him like a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Someone said later, and that is, I think, a better description.
Yeah. Who talks to dogs like that? I walk dogs. I never talk to a dog like the way War Dog talked to Gavin. Although, it's probably in War Dog's nature to talk
I guess
to
if they're
somebody.
being naughty.
Yes, but was Gavin being naughty?
I don't know.
Thomas,
Maybe in War Dog's eyes.
Will you say Gavin was being naughty?
I won't commit to that.
Yes, and let's continue this episode. Ron says that right now his game is going pretty good. He tells Julie about his extra vote. That's an alliance right there. Rick brings in Ron and War Dog to form an alliance of the threats that are left in the game and target Aurora. What did you think of Rick considering himself a threat in this game?
I mean, he kind of is.
I would disagree with that. I don't consider Rick a threat at all. Like,
he's not a threat.
I mean, tallying up after this tribal council, I would not consider Rick Devens a threat in this game. We'll get into that, though.
Yeah, you're getting ahead of yourself,
That is true. Jumping ahead too much. At the reward challenge, the winners go on a mud bath excursion and have something of a spa day. Something that for some reason neither of us have predicted all season.
Yeah, I do that every once in a while, but
I feel like
I'm almost always wrong, so I feel like every time I think to say it, I'm like, no, they won't.
do it every season. But it's always...
Not every
Do
season.
they not? It seems like they do. Something spa-related. Like, I wouldn't consider this a spa day. Like, if we were closer in points and you guessed spa day, I'd be like, I'm not giving it to you, it was just a mud bath. But I would consider it a spa day if either of us had guessed it. But neither of us did, so it's unnecessary that we talk about it. So they had to swim under a platform, collect rings, and then toss those rings. At one point, War Dog swam to the wrong platform on his team. The winning team was him, Lauren, Devins, and Julie. What do you think of this reward challenge? I thought it was boring.
I also thought it was boring.
Friday night, I didn't have anything to do, and I found Token Teens, the first season with JT and Coach and Stephen Fishback, and I played it at double speed so I could get through it quicker. That season is so good. Is
it twice as good when you're playing it really fast?
Yeah, because you don't have to pay as close attention. But you don't, like, the wildlife shots are extraordinary. The challenges are all different. Like, they did this challenge I watched last night, where they had to place, like, these platforms with holes through them to reveal letters, and then those letters formed a puzzle. Like, that was really cool. And they don't do anything like that. Now it's just like, balance this ball on a perch. Okay, now balance this ball on this perch. These challenges are boring now.
You were just complimenting them for doing endurance-based challenges for the individual stuff.
Yeah, but I'm speaking overall. Like, what? Going back and watching a season from 10 years.
Just sounds like there's no pleasing you, Jake. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, that's true. I'm a negative Nancy. That's a stupid phrase. Negative Nancy. It's rude to Nancy's everywhere.
Trying to think, who's a Survivor player that is a man that has a first name that starts with N?
We could look it up real quick. Nicaragua, that was the location, not a Survivor. Why? Because you want to call them negative whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. Survivor. It's really hard to hold a microphone and speak and type at the same time. List of Survivor contestants. Here we go. There's Andrew Savage. If you don't pronounce the A, it's Andrew Savage.
Maybe just scroll down a little bit, buddy.
Oh. Hold on. Sorry, I just got a call. How about any Nick?
Negative
Nick. There we go. Nicole. Oh, that's a lady's name, generally. Let's go into recent seasons. Who would we? Well, like, there's Nick Mariano from Co Wrong. There's
Negative Nick Mariano.
There we go. I'm going to name the episode that, and he's going to get a Google alert and be like, why the fuck did they call it this?
Literally no reason.
Oh, Natalia. Or Natalie. Oh, wait, they're not men. I forgot that was part of it. Did you know Wendy's real name is Gwendolyn? That's a good name.
Yeah.
Now I'm really curious who would be...
She should go by Gwendy.
Yeah, she should. I don't know why she doesn't.
Yeah, she probably just never thought of it.
Well, okay, so remember Ghost Island, the 18-year-old Michael Yerger? What if we called him Negative Michael Yerger?
Negative Michael.
I think it's good. Okay, let's get back into this episode. Back at camp, everybody... Oh, wait, I skipped ahead. We skipped the whole Edge of Extinction segment. Over at the Edge of Extinction, Kelly is upset. Reem tells her that she is mad at her. And then there's a really long segment of Kelly on the beach reflecting, can you say, winner's edit?
Maybe.
I don't know. I think we'll talk about who we think is going to win later. Back at camp, everyone wants to take out Devins. Ron gives Aurora the extra vote back. I'm surprised he did that. I would not have been surprised if he had kept it for himself the rest of the game. The extra vote.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess Aurora is herself an extra vote. I really hope something comes from this extra vote.
Yeah, can we just have it affect something for once?
Can we have anything affect anything in this game at this point? I saw somebody online say, for everybody who's asking for a season without idols, this is what it would look like. Which, like, is fine, it's interesting, but it's also like, you keep setting it up, and nothing's happening.
I just want the extra vote to be used to vote Ron out.
Oh, I would love that so much. But, you know, the extra...
That's a Ron Parker story I can...
That's not his name.
What's his name?
Ron Clark.
Ron Clark. Ron Parker. Okay, the reason that I thought about Ron Parker is because the show Cheap Seats. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Michael Showalter's character on that, one of the jokes of the show is it's Cheap Seats without Ron Parker, is that he gets injured and then the Sklar brothers have to step in and do the show.
Okay.
It was like Mystery Science Theater 3000, but for like old ESPN tapes.
Yeah, okay. But the joke is not about the American football free safety who is a free agent who was signed by the Seattle Seahawks in an undrafted free agent in 2011 and has played with the Oakland Raiders. That makes sense because he's only 31, and I remember that show being on like 10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah, it was like early 2000s. I think.
like this 12-year-old was hosting a Mystery Science Theater sports show. That would be fun.
So yeah, that's a Ron Clark story I can get behind.
Is Ron Parker... Is that also the Ghostbusters guy?
Oh, that's
Ray Parker. Different people. Okay, back at camp.
Just like how Ron Clark is not to be confused with Ryan Clark, another former safety.
A lot of people have names.
You know what? It's crazy how many people have names.
Remember that movie that was called like Sniper or Assassin or something like that, where they're like, in our world, we don't have names, we just have numbers that are tattooed on our neck. Does this sound familiar at all?
No.
I remember us making fun of it a lot in high school. If anybody knows what movie we're talking about, or I'm talking about more specifically, you can hit us up on Twitter at DYWSLN. Thank you. I'm gonna be thinking about this movie all day. I'll let you know. I'll text you later.
The only one I ever think of that we made fun of was The Sentinel.
Oh, why does that sound familiar?
That's the one with Kiefer Sutherland and like
24?
And Eva Longoria. I don't remember what the line in the trailer was anymore that we used to make fun of, but there was one that we always used to make fun of.
That's not, you want to shoot me? Shoot me.
That's
the one?
That is. Yes. Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland going, you want to shoot me? Shoot me!
Man, movies are great. You see The End Game? That's a movie.
No.
Good. Me neither.
It was sold out. Like, I'm not going to be proactive about getting tickets for that thing.
Yeah, me neither.
Like, I'm not going to see it until I don't have to get my tickets in advance.
Yeah. I still haven't seen Us, and I've been meaning to see that since it came out.
Yeah, I haven't even seen Us yet. Like, come on.
I nearly went the other day this week, but then I didn't. Great story.
The last movie that I saw was Shazam, and it was pretty good.
That's good. Yeah, okay. I have nothing to say about Shazam. It seems fine.
Yeah. You haven't seen it. It's better than fine. It's okay. Good.
I was never really attached to that character in any way, so...
I had absolutely zero attachment to the character.
The only character I was really attached to from that movie was Chuck. And I didn't even watch that show super often.
The fact that Zachary Levi TV's Chuck is in it is, that's like how I have much more of an attachment to this man, Adam Brody, but TV's Seth Cohen. I had to remember his name for a second.
Yeah.
TV's Seth Cohen of the OC. The Seth Cohen Show. They should call it the SC because it's all about Seth Cohen, baby.
Because it's called the OC.
Did you not like that?
No, I was chortling to myself. I don't know. My mic probably picked it up. I think it probably didn't go through the phone.
I was having a great time, and my friends were having a good time also. They're just off screen, chuckling to themselves.
Man, I know you've said, no, watch the OC. It's pretty good when it first starts. I watched the first episode. Boy, howdy, what a show.
It's good.
I don't know if I mean that negatively or positively.
It's good. Welcome to the OC, bitch.
That is episode 2, technically, I will say. So, I was promised...
Like about rich kids? Nothing.
I was promised that line in the first episode, and then the first episode ended, and I was like, Thomas lied to me.
I just always assumed it was. No, the first episode ends when they, like, the Coens are like, oh, Ryan can stay with us or whatever, right?
I think so. I don't know. I watched it one time last summer and was very high.
They're like, Ryan can stay with us. Welcome to the OC, bitch.
What's the dad's name?
Sandy
Cohen. Just every episode ends with him staring into the camera going, welcome to the OC, bitch.
No, he's always saying it to Ryan.
Hey, you signed up for this, not me. Sandy Cohen, good dad, right? That's his whole thing?
Great dad.
We've definitely talked about this before, because I remember you agreeing with me when everyone else who I was watching it with laughed at me. I had always assumed it was Ben McKenzie and Seth Cohen's Drake and Josh in the OC. But then I realized that, no, Ben McKenzie's character is like a poor guy, and I said, oh, it's a Fresh Prince story. And everybody laughed at me, and I was like, but it is!
Yeah, it is. It's like an adopted Fresh Prince.
Yeah. So, the OC is the modern-day Fresh Prince. Were those shows were never out at the same time, were they?
No, they never aired concurrently.
That's probably good. Okay. Aurora and Ron argue about how much rice they should be eating. And Ron calls her the rice Nazi, which is a bad phrase, I think.
It's bad to do that, but I am just also now. Then Aurora was like, well, you don't like my rice practices? Welcome to the OC, bitch.
You know?
I just want everyone to be saying that all the time.
Why aren't more people on Survivor saying welcome to the OC, bitch?
We gotta have Survivor Orange County.
We really do.
And it's hosted by Colin Hanks.
Oh, I would watch the shit out of that. Well, people always talk about
hosted by Colin. Let me try this one on for size. Hosted by Colin Hanks and Jack Black. And Mike White is back because he wrote the movie Orange County.
You know, I forgot that Orange County was a movie, so I thought you were just like picking a likable guy from Hollywood to host. And I was like, yeah, Colin Hanks hosting Survivor. Hell yeah, I'd watch that.
I mean, I'm on board with Colin Hanks doing anything, but
maybe his dark passenger will be there. Edward James Olmos. Was that him?
You know what is also funny is Colin Hanks was actually on. He had a guest spot on the OC.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, as like he was like a TV drama actor.
Oh, like in real life. He's more comedian.
Let me look this up.
Oh hell yeah! It's time for Tom's IMDb corner. I've been waiting for this one, baby.
Everyone's favorite segment that we all know and love to know.
In this time, Will Thomas is looking this up. I will say we use the same audio for Tom's IMDb corner, or the same song to intro it as a podcast that a couple of my friends do called Adult Films, where they just talk about movies. It's hosted by Colin Bullock and Ron Irvin, who are two comedians from Chicago. So if you want to listen to this song more, that's a show that's fun sometimes.
This is okay. This is fun. The title of that episode is called The L.A.
The one with our boy Colin Hanks.
Yeah, when Marissa and Summer run into Grady Bridges, which is Colin Hanks' character, the star of Summer's favorite TV series, The Valley, he invites them and their friends to party in Los Angeles, and they accept.
It's so good. I love it so much. Actually, the OC is very good. Welcome to the OC, bitch. Aurora, when she and Ron are arguing, says, "I'm used to being around drama queens because I am one." Fun quote.
That was a nice line.
Out of character, I think. Like, I would not. If you would ask me who the drama queen, I would not have picked Aurora.
She kind of was that one episode, but that was it.
Yeah, I guess that's just like her being under-edited.
The episode where she was going to get voted off, and then she won the challenge the first time.
But I think Ron Clark is much more a drama queen.
Huge drama queen. Absolutely huge.
Rick, at the reward challenge, or at the reward, Rick and War Dog agree that Lauren and Julia aren't in the driver's seat, and they both seem okay with that. Meanwhile, Lauren and Julia talk about working together moving forward. I love how inobservant?
Yes.
You know what I mean. Rick and War Dog are. They're just like, yeah, they are not playing the game at all. And then they're like over there just plotting to get the other two out.
You know, I really liked like the first couple seasons of Rick and War Dog, but the fan base just got really annoying.
Yeah, you're the whole fan base. Okay, immunity challenge. There's some obstacles and then a puzzle. It's a star. Devin wins and yells, "La Cheeserie!" Do you know why he did that?
I do not.
I would think that you would, because it's apparently a sports podcast thing, so I would be unsurprised if you hadn't heard about it. Apparently, it's like a catchphrase on one podcast that he listens to. That like.
Do you know what podcast it is?
It's not the Dan Le Batard show, but it's somebody who I think of as the same kind of person. The Tony Kornheiser show.
The Tony Korn... Who listens to the Tony Kornheiser show?
Apparently Rick Devens does. When he... after he yells
Folks, pardon the interruption to the podcast, looking at the Tony Kornheiser show.
That's the show he's from. Yeah, okay. Yeah, somebody had mentioned that on another Survivor podcast I was listening to, because...
there aren't any of those.
We are the only Survivor podcast.
The only Survivor
I keep forgetting that. I think, hot take, I think this is a better Survivor podcast than any of Rob Sesternino's podcasts, I'm sorry to say.
Hell yeah, baby.
I was listening to one today, maybe it's just his style of hosting, but like, that guy doesn't engage with anything his guest says, ever. He just like, they'll answer a question and he'll just go, okay, and then move on to the next question. It's like, that's not...
It's bad interviewing.
And everybody loves him because he has...
You'll never see anyone on this podcast not be paying attention and then give responses to questions like that.
How are you doing in Pokemon Fire Red, though?
I'm not playing anything right now, Jake. This is just... I'm doing it for the love of the game right now.
It is time to play the game.
Also on that podcast they don't talk about Lost at all, and they don't talk about wrestling, and they don't talk about
Joey.
Joey, and they don't talk about what beverages they've been drinking. So,
There's not even a bottle. Rob Sesternino doesn't even have a bottle check on his shows. It's everybody's favorite segment. I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to transition into something else.
So, Jake, before you do, I've been rewatching the best network drama of all time.
Blue Bloods?
I wanted you to say Lost so I could be like, wrong! And you'd be like, what? No!
I mean, Lost was the greatest television show to ever exist, and throughout its entire run, it was the #1 show in America and my heart. So
that's not even remotely true.
I mean,
#1 in our hearts, baby.
Yeah.
I'm rewatching Friday Night Lights. It's good.
Oh, God, that's another show I still need to rewatch. I'm going to watch Friday Night Lights before I see Endgame. I've been saying I need to watch Friday Night Lights for 10 years, but I'm going to watch it before Endgame, for sure.
I remember, this was a few years ago now, when I watched it again, I went through and watched all of Season 1 and was like, this is great. I still love this show. And then I was like, I'll watch Season 2. I know there's some good episodes in it, even though it's not that good. And then I did not make it through Season 2. So I'm not making that mistake this time. I'm skipping Season 2. None of it is canon. Like, literally, It does not have any bearing on any of the other seasons.
Why? Did they have, new writers or something?
There was a bunch of... Famously, their ratings were not very good for Season 1.
Oh.
So they renewed them, but then the network put a lot of pressure on them.
Okay.
And basically gave them a bunch of notes where they're like, you should do more sensationalized storylines, because, the show's too subtle, and that's why people aren't watching it. And so you get plot arcs...
Because it was on a Friday night.
You get... Yes, the show that aired, that's why it was called that, is because it aired on Fridays.
I remember it being on Friday nights when it initially aired. And NBC being like, why aren't people watching this? And it's like, because it's Friday night. Nobody watches TV on Friday nights.
Watching high school football.
Yeah.
But, and anyway, they so they had storylines like one where, Landry kills a guy.
Cool.
And it's in self-defense, but then they pad it out to the whole season where it's like, no one can know about this. There's a character that they introduce who's a guy that was in juvie who ends up staying with Buddy and Lila Garrity, and then he just disappears. They get him on the football team at the end of the season, and it turns out he's pretty good, and then he just is never in the show again.
How much of it has to do with racism, or is that more the book and movie?
Yeah, it's not... I mean, they address it a little bit, but Dylan isn't really totally based on... I can't remember what the exact name of the town that Permian was at.
In the book or the movie?
Yeah, because I don't think the name of that town is Permian. I think that's just the high school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's less... It's not about it, but it's a lot less about it.
Yeah, I remember seeing the movie with Billy Bob Thornton when it first came out and being like, oh, this is a good sports movie when there are 1,000 sports movies every weekend, but it's still it's amazing.
It's a good sports movie. The book is also quite good.
Yeah, then I read the book in Sports Lit in Rockford High School.
I also read the book in Sports Lit.
And I was like, oh wow, this is a really good book. and then it kind of decreased the value of the movie after that, because I'm like,
the book covers a lot more. Shout out to Mr. Marker.
Hell yeah, he's married to somebody we graduated with now.
He is?
Yeah, he married somebody from our class.
Are you sure it was him? Because there's another.
Oh wait, Mr. Marker? Or
you're
Mr.
thinking?
Marker?
Are you? Yeah, I was gonna say that's who you're thinking of. Mr. Marker was the debate guy who also did Sports Lit.
Oh,
I was going to say, I would genuinely have been shocked if that was him.
Mr. Marker was an older guy, right?
He's middle-aged. He's probably in his 40s when we were there.
Okay. We must have had different Sports Lit teachers then, because the guy I took Sports Lit from is definitely married to somebody we graduated with. Which, now it's not that weird, because I doubt he was more than 5 or 6 years older than us at the time, but I thought
it's still weird.
It is still kind of weird.
Pretty Little Liars situation is what we got on our hands.
It could have been. I don't know.
Similar age difference.
I don't want to talk about Pretty Little Liars. Did you know this? I say right before we start talking about Pretty Little Liars. Did you know there's a new spin-off of Pretty Little Liars out now?
I did not know that.
It's called Pretty Little Liars: The Perfectionists. I don't know what it's about, but it's got Pretty Little Liars in the name, so I will probably check it out at some point.
Man, what a show.
Let's talk about Survivor.
Speaking of shows.
Yeah. Back at camp, since Devon's won, everybody targets War Dog. War Dog tries to convince Julia to vote for Aurora. Lauren wants to take out Aurora before War Dog. Let's talk about the wildlife shots now.
Alive.
Oh, as I was doing the notes, I was listening to the Gorillaz album, Plastic Beach. You know that album?
The best Gorillaz album.
I would agree. Super Fast Jellyfish came up as I was writing the wildlife shots, and I nearly just wrote jellyfish as one of the wildlife shots. But there was not actually one. There was a snake, there was a crab, there was a black-tip reef shark, there was another shark, there was a bird, there was your son, Roland the bat, and then there was also a wildlife shot of some sort of sea spider, which is an animal I don't like. They're gross looking.
Yeah, they're bad.
They are also known as Pantopoda and Pycnogonids.
Really rolls off the tongue.
Oh yeah, there are over 1,300 species in the world, ranging in size from 1 millimeter to over 2 feet.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah. The small ones, fine. The big ones, stay away, please. The one on this episode was big, too. They are not technically true spiders or even technically arachnids. While most have 4 pairs of legs, some species have 5 or 6 pairs of legs. They have very thin legs and a very thin body, which means they do not have a respiratory system. Instead, oxygen is absorbed through the legs and distributed through the body as needed. Some species are so small that a single muscle will only be 1 cell big. That's fucked up.
Some are so small they call them big.
Classic. Their hearts beat 90 to 100 beats a minute. The males care for the laid eggs and the youth. They feed on phylums and worms and sponges, and they might also use their proboscis to feed off of a sea anemone. So that's interesting. And that's the sea spider. There's 1,300 of them, and I didn't care to look up any specific one.
I don't need to know about all those. I don't want to know about any of them, to be honest. Yep. So thank you, Jake.
You're welcome. Okay, at Tribal Council, Gavin says he and War Dog haven't spoken since the Wentworth vote. See, this is why War Dog is a bad player.
Yep.
Lauren says, actual winner's edit quote here. If you think you can beat me, what am I missing? That's a good quote. That's a really good quote. That is pretty good. I think Lauren's playing a very good game, and it's coming up. She's gonna win. They vote. Well,
I mean, maybe she'll finish in second or third, but
if she's in Final 12 Council, there's also a chance that she could get first place.
I don't think there's any chance of that. But
well, consider this, Thomas. She plays that idol correctly when no one knows idols even exist. In the final 7 at the earliest. That's going to be a huge, and I know resume building is stupid and shouldn't be a thing, but that is a huge resume builder. If she plays that correctly in the next couple votes, I think it's a lock for Lauren. Okay, so they vote Aurora, War Dog, Aurora, War Dog, War Dog, War Dog, War Dog, War Dog. He gets all of those, except for 2 of them. He, of course, makes his way to Extinction after that. So overall, Thomas, what did you think of this episode?
It was fine.
Yeah, I would agree. I was happy with the result.
I was too.
I feel like there wasn't a lot of maneuvering throughout the episode.
They did a good job. It seemed inevitable that War Dog was going to get voted off, so they did a good job of making you worry that it wasn't going to happen, and then it did.
But it was so obvious that it would, just based on how the season has gone. It couldn't have been anyone else. Okay, let's get into the voting record for each contestant remaining. Previously sitting alone in first place and still sitting alone in first place with 100% of the correct vote at every tribal council they have attended is Victoria. Previously in second place, still in second place with 88% correct votes, is Gavin. Ron is still in third with 5 of 6 correct votes, 83% for him. Lauren, previously in fifth, is now in fourth. It's at 64%. That's pretty good. Julie and Aurora, both previously tied for last and now tied for fifth, have 60% of the vote correct. And falling back into last place with 50% of the correct vote total and 33% post-merge is Rick Devins. He has voted correctly after getting back into the game a third of the time. And he wanted to create a threats alliance. How?
Even though I accidentally just called her Veronica, Victoria, obviously the best and going to win.
Oh, I understand why you called her Veronica, though. Because we've been talking about the OC, and welcome to the OC, bitch, and Riverdale is kind of this generation's OC, so you're probably thinking about Veronica. I get it. I matched with somebody on Tinder yesterday who was cosplaying as Veronica from... I don't know if it was I think it was like Halloween, but you know
what you're telling me is that you you matched with Veronica from
Pretty Little Liars?
The
OC, yeah. How is it always...
You matched with Veronica Mars.
Would you rather match with Veronica Mars or Veronica Rich Girl from Archie? I don't remember her last name. And you have to go on a date with them.
Probably.
And you have to be engaged.
Probably
not
Veronica
like
Mars.
in married, but like engaged in the date. You would rather go out with Veronica Mars?
It's not hard to... It's Kristen Bell, dude. How's that a hard choice?
It's not Kristen Bell, it's Veronica Mars. It's Kristen Bell, then it's also Eleanor Schultz.
Well, if it's not Kristen Bell, then how come I've never seen
Elsa.
them in the same room together, Jake? Huh?
What?
Said if it's not Kristen Bell, then how come I've never seen her and Veronica Mars in the same room?
Because Veronica Mars is a fictional character. This is a thought exercise. I would pick Veronica from Archie.
Yeah, you're a fucking idiot.
Well, I mean, I feel like Veronica Mars would be too distracted.
What if someone gets murdered? Who do you trust more to be a sleuth? Jughead. Well, you can go on a date with Jughead then.
Hell yeah. Alright, it's time for everybody's new favorite segment this season, my mom's thoughts on Survivor. Oh,
yeah,
hell yeah.
Let's get them.
How many separate texts do you think my mom sent?
I'm going to say 3.
Oh, double that and add 1.
Wow, 7. Lucky number 11 texts.
Okay, she says, I thought Tribal Council was great. Loved Kelly's reaction to War Dog getting voted out. Yes.
That was good.
I think Ron is next. At least I hope so. She says, I'd like to see all women in the final 3. And then in a separate text, has that ever happened? Yes, it has. It has happened twice. And I just looked it up before we started recording. It has only been all men in the final 3 one time, and all women 3 times.
I was going to say, I don't think that ever really happens either, so...
yeah, I thought it was all women at least one more time than that, but maybe this is the season. Victoria, Aurora, and Lauren, or Aubrey, would be my pick for the final 3, she says. Or Aubrey was in parentheses, that's why I said it like that.
Victoria, Auroria...
Victoria, Aurora, Lauroria. I don't care what else you say this episode title. That's the episode title. Auroria? Auroria. That's good too. I would like any combination of that final 3. I would
Well, I don't need Lauren there, but it'd be...
I would like Lauren there, because...
No, I don't really need her to be there.
She needs to be there if she to win, so...
It would be better, honestly, if she just got voted off next week.
I don't think that's going to happen. When are they going to let one of the Extinction people back in?
I don't know.
Like, I just imagine my mom, like Eric Andre, outside the White House.
Let me in!
Let the Edge of Extinction people back in!
Let him in!
And when is the Loved Ones episode? I'm looking forward to seeing that one. This is literally the next episode.
Yeah, just wait for the next time on Survivor.
Yeah.
Jake's mom.
Okay, let's get into points. You got a point for Victoria surviving. You got a point for War Dog getting voted out. You got a point for War Dog going to Extinction. So you're now at 39 points.
Jake, I'm going to make an argument. A hamburger is a sandwich, and they had sandwiches at the at the reward. So
well, that's great. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you that a hamburger is a sandwich, but you guessed coffee.
Oh, yes, it's true. I did.
So I appreciate the effort, but...
Well, they had drinks there, and coffee is a drink, so...
So, the hamburgers, were they, like, beef patties?
They didn't have hamburger. They just had sandwiches.
Oh, they had sandwiches. What, like a steak sandwich, maybe? Did you notice?
They had roast beef, which is not steak.
Could have been.
No,
steak.
No, Jake.
Alright, so I got a point for Lauren surviving. It is Survivor, that is the name of the game, and so is Lauren. Voted out was War Dog, which I predicted, and I got another point for him going to Extinction. So we got all the same points on that.
Yeah, holding pattern.
Okay.
What are we at?
You're at 39, I'm at 43.
I'm actually at 40.
I was wondering if you remembered that. I in my spreadsheet, I have me listed at 43, and I have you listed with 39, parenthetically 40.
Yep.
All right, who is going to win the reward next week, which we already know is going to be the loved ones visit.
Yeah, who will win the loved ones? That is the question.
Who will get to hang out with their loved one for the rest of the game? How many
Going
people
to
are left?
say...
7?
What was that?
Are there 7 people left?
Yes.
Okay.
Say Julie.
Honestly,
I don't know that she's going to win the challenge. I think it's going to be very obvious that she wants to go on it.
Yes, I would agree.
I think someone will take her.
I'm going to use a similar thought and say Gavin. Just married. Sure. It's probably his brand new baby wife. Baby wife is a gross phrase. I just mean because they're young. They're like 22 years old and married.
That's true.
Okay, what will the reward actually be, though? What will they do with their loved ones? Remember last year they went out on a barge and I think had a barbecue. Which was very good, actually. Oh my god. Okay, remind me to tell you about the reward in Token Teams when we're done with this segment.
Okay. I think they're going to have beers there.
Oh, good call. I'm going to say... I almost said salad. I'm going to say wraps. They love their wraps on Survivor. Immunity Challenge winner, who will it be, Thomas?
That's a good question.
You say that like you didn't know that was the next question.
I'm having a hard time deciding who I think is going to win. I'm going to say Lauren is going to win this one.
Oh, that's who I was going to say. But for the sake of the game, and it is time to play the game, I guess I'll just say Aurora then. We're just flip-flopping from last week. Who's getting voted out, though? I think it should be
I think
obvious.
It is going to be Ron Clark.
Oh. I was going to say Ron, but then I second-guessed myself, and I'm going to say Rick Devens. Will this middle-aged white man go to Extinction Island?
Yes.
I agree. Okay, so that's the points for next week. Thomas, you guessed coffee last week. And there was a coffee reward when I was watching Token Teams this weekend. They went to a cafe where they got coffee and all the cafe fixins. And it was sponsored by, do you have a guess? who sponsored the coffee reward in Survivor 18 cooking teams. It was not Folgers. It was, in fact, Charmin.
What?
Charmin, the toilet paper company.
Well, I mean, I guess those guys were
the ass wiping
blowing ass after all that caffeine on an empty stomach.
It's so good.
You're going to have horrible diarrhea after this, so you're going to need some Charmin.
Yes. Okay, over on the challenge, pretty good episode, I think, in that it made me mad, but in a good way. Georgia eliminated Nani, then they had a challenge where they had to pick up and collect trash and dump it in a dumpster in the desert for a full hour. Turbo and Natalie Ninja from American Ninja Warrior were a team. Turbo's strategy was to take it slow and get the heaviest stuff possible, which makes sense because he's an actual Hulk, the actual Hulk from Endgame, rather than a lot of lighter stuff, which was a different strategy other people implemented. Natalie freaked out on Turbo because she thought they lost, which made Turbo really upset and sad. And then they ended up being one of the winning teams, and Turbo was not pleased because Natalie yelled at him. Turbo is a sweetheart. And I want to see him on American Survivor. Have they ever brought somebody from other Survivor to American Survivor? I don't think they have.
I don't... Have they?
I don't think so. I know Russell Hantz played in America, obviously, and then he was on a season of Australian Survivor. But
so yes, they've done the reverse, but they haven't imported anybody into the game.
Could be Turbo.
I would certainly be in favor of it.
Turbo told a story this episode about how there was like this belligerent dude on a plane, and they like couldn't get a handle on him, so they like came up to him after he had won Survivor, and were like, "Hey, can you help us deal with this dude?" He was just like a passenger on the plane, and he like single-handedly took care of this guy on the plane. It was very good.
That is cool.
Turbo is a good dude. The other winners were Wes and Devon, Paulie, and whoever his partner was for this challenge. Paulie considers volunteering to go into elimination to take out Kyle by himself, even though he would otherwise be immune, which is very good when people I don't like do it. I think it's very funny because they always lose. Anytime you volunteer for elimination, you are eliminated.
Yeah, you should never do that.
That is how it works. Take it from Eric Reichenbach, take it from Jordan in that season of whatever challenge that was. It's a stupid idea. Don't do it. But the episode ends with us seeing what the elimination game will be, and it is Hall Brawl. You remember Hall Brawl, Thomas?
I do.
I really hope it's Paulie versus Kyle in there, because I really hate both of them, but I am excited to see them destroy each other. Thomas, here's the other thing about... Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Next episode, they are going to be doing a challenge on a plane, and TJ Lavin is dressed as a pilot for the challenge. I just sent you a picture.
Yes!
Look at the picture. It's so good, right?
It's a great picture. It looks like it's like... I don't know that I would feel comfortable if my pilot looked like that. Have you been drinking, pilot?
No, TJ is sober.
I know he is, but
one thing that he said in the preview for next week, he looked up the cast and their seats, and he just smiled at them and said, "We're not going to Guam, are we?" And then they all said, "What?"
He does kind of have a little bit of a Lapidus look.
Doesn't he? I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was going to say earlier.
What?
Oh man, we're already at 50 minutes. Whatever. I started a new project last night that is going to take a very long time to complete, and is for me and myself, and Irene also, where I am like categorizing each contestant as they relate to the contestant from the previous season, using the archetypes from episode or season 1, so like the strategic mastermind in Richard Hatch, and like who each person in that season, what role they filled, and the last place person I called the sacrifice the island demanded. Which has just become like, I did it for a few seasons, but it's just like the person who it's just like, yeah, it just fucking sucked. You just got unlucky, and, you know, there's always one. And it's always one of the first few people who's voted out. But it's very fun. Survivor's a good show. Lost is a good show. Did You Watch Survivor Last Night is a good show. Pretty Little Liars was a good show. OC is a good show. Friday Night is a good show. The Challenge is a bad show that I watch. Joey is... I don't think we've passed judgment on Joey yet.
No, it's a show.
Joey's a show. Once we get our Patreon started, we'll pass judgment on Joey. We have been trying to get Season 40 to be Heroes vs. Villains 2 for the longest time, but now it's apparently going to be all winners. Has yet to be confirmed, so they're going to start filming in the next couple weeks that season. So it's coming down to the wire, folks, for Heroes vs. Villains 2. So let's...
Yeah, it's a real Chaim situation.
Chaim? Through the Wire?
Yes. That song that they did.
Yeah, with Kanye West.
Yeah.
Right?
Chaim has a song called The Wire.
Yeah, Through the Wire. With Kanye West. It's the theme song for the Dan Le Batard show. I know all these things.
Yeah. I do like the idea of Through the Wire having the video for it having Yorma Taccone in it, but that video is about how Kanye West got his jaw broken, because that's what the song is also about. It is not about Yorma Taccone trying to get back together with someone who broke up with him.
Is Yorma Taccone in the Time video or the Kanye West video? I was not following that at all.
He's in the Haim video.
Okay, that makes more sense. So I was going to say, Yorma Taccone would have been really young when Through the Wire came out.
Yeah, it would have been like 20-year-old Yorm.
The Through the Wire video with Yorma Taccone was the original 8th grade. But it was Kanye West and Yorma Taccone instead of Bo Burnham and Elsie Fisher, is that her name? 8th grade, good movie. 8th grade, good movie. Friday Nights, good show. Parenthood, another good show. We didn't talk about it this week, but it's a good show. I think about it a lot. You can follow us on iTunes or subscribe to us there. You can follow us on Twitter, DYWSLN.
Sorry. You can follow me at TomNotTom.
You can follow me at ChickShitL. I also have a wrestling Twitter that's pretty exciting stuff. Booking shows whenever I feel like it. Man.
Oh boy. I have a podcast recommendation this week based off of stuff that I reference all the time.
It's called Welcome to the OC, bitch.
Yeah, that podcast is podcast. I know that Jake already listened to it, but
I would highly suggest you don't listen to that podcast actually, because it is bad. It is the most boring podcast I've ever listened to.
Okay.
And I listen to this podcast.
My serious answer is there is a show that I've been listening to for a while called Michael and Us. If you're into left politics, it is a good show to listen to. But they did an episode about... They generally cover stuff from like between about 2000... like 1996 and 2009. Like that era of stuff.
Hell yeah, Counting Crows to LCD sound system. That's my shit. Yep.
They did an episode about the Kevin Costner film Swing Vote,
which you love
a lot.
The Kevin Costner movie Swing Vote is really the true Ron Clark story.
I was absolutely tickled that right after I referenced it again last week, I saw one of them post about watching the movie, and I was like, it's like I made this happen.
That podcast you recommended me when I was home a couple weeks ago, and introducing,
yes,
really good.
It is really good. They just did an episode with Dave Weigel about progressive rock that is also very good.
From yes to yes, every positive affirmation band. That's a podcast I would listen to. Did you listen to... Do you ever listen to Reply All? This is just a podcast recommendation segment. It's the end of the show. Who cares?
I haven't listened to it. I feel like I've heard of it, though.
It's a really popular show that I have been dragging my feet to listen to, but I just listened to I just subscribed to it officially. They did an episode where they were investigating why 99% invisible doesn't work on some cars, like Bluetooth display systems. So they introduced, or they like had to create a bunch of random podcasts with different titles to see if that had any effect on it. And they were all very specific ideas, and they were all very fun. One of them was called Greater Than, Less Than, Approximately, or something like that, where the host of that Netflix show Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat teaches the host of Reply All how to cook a recipe, but can't use she just says it's either greater than, less than, or approximately this other thing. It's like, it's approximately, you need approximately as many cups as you have children. It's very good. So Reply All is a good show, and that little 9-minute podcast they produce is also very fun. So listen to that once this is done, which is going to be in about 2 minutes. You can review us on Apple Podcasts. 5-star review. I like it better than all the other podcasts. Please give it a big thumbs up. Is that right, Thomas? You do it.
This is my favorite podcast. I like it better than all of the other podcasts. I give it a big thumbs up.
There we go. Okay. Before we go, there's only 3 episodes left.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Crazy.
I feel like this season has dragged, but also gone by very quickly.
Yeah.
I guess that's what happens when you're having fun. That's not the phrase. But I bring that up just to say, I've got an idea for what we're doing in the off-season. I don't know if you've got an idea for what we're doing in the off-season, but I'm pretty indignant on mine, so keep that in mind.
Pretty indignant?
Yeah.
I don't think you know what that word means.
I'm very... What does indignant mean?
Indignant means that you're, mad.
Oh, maybe I've misunderstood that word my entire life.
Are you saying, insistent? Is that what you...
Yeah, I guess so. Insistent and very sure. I feel like I've used that word a lot and nobody's ever called me on it.
I had this problem with the word sartorial, so But
also, how often do people say sartorial unless they're...
I was using it too much. Nobody called me on it. I just looked it up again because I was like, am I using this word right? And I was like, no, I'm not. It only pertains to clothes.
How were you using it?
I basically used it to describe, any kind of affectation.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I feel like talking about the word sartorial is an affectation of its own.
Yeah, it was, the way that I was using sartorial, it was a bold sartorial choice to use the word sartorial in that way. And I just used it incorrectly again.
I loved it, though. It was good. So think about what you want to do for the off-season. Because this is ending May 15th, and we've got a long summer until September.
Survivor Endgame.
What if Thanos was on Survivor? Let's talk about it. Why were Rob so Stranino? That was mean. I have no reason to do that. I'm sorry, Rob. Bring me on your show.
Alright, well, Rob, Jake, I think maybe we should just have a great summer then.
Deuces!
Making a distinction between life and law. Odds favor the former when you wear a mask. Masochism forming in the reflection, and I'm trying not to turn into a psychopath. Better to have lost it than to find it tossed out. That's what I'm telling myself. Wasn't I better than nothing? Making a decision about steamed or fried. Wanted to be needed, so I fed my cat. Think I'll keep to myself for the next few days. Feel a buzz that can't be bottled, smoked or canned. Sabotaging life just to find something to write about. Why was it always this way? Did I do it on purpose? Schizoid built, listening to puddles swallow melted snow. Spring has sprung and finally it's not cold outside, and I'm thinking about the places that I wanna go. Passion dissipates when it's fastened through the faces we wear, only to become them. ourselves every day becomes incredibly easy.